Hey everyone, it's Patty Davis with Crooked Tree Creations again. Today I'm going to show you how to make a spiral dahlia wreath. I'll be making this one in gorgeous fall colors. Let's get started. Okay, so I have this form here. It's a 12-inch wire form. And all I did was I took some plastic canvas. I have a sheet like that here. I got this one at Joann Fabrics. You could also get it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. This is the 5 mesh, not the 7 mesh. The 5 mesh have bigger holes. So you definitely want the bigger holes, okay? But I just took a 12-inch form, took a Sharpie, traced the inner circle, cut it out, and attached it to the wire form using 4-inch zip ties. And this is what I came up with, okay? So from this point, I know I am going to have some rows of petals going inward. And I want to make sure that they're all somewhat uniform. So I like to kind of trace out kind of where I know, well, at least think I want to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to figure out where I am and, you know, kind of where I want these next rows to be. So I kind of figure just in from the, I'm using this 6-inch form, and I'm going to go in just a little bit from there, kind of not quite up against that 6-inch form, just to kind of give me a little bit of a guideline of how far I want that next row to be. And I figure my inner row, yeah, I'm going to mark this center first of all, but that seems to be about right. I'll go ahead and just do that right there. It'll give me a little bit of a guideline. So for this wreath, what I'm going to be using poly burlap in cream. You're going to need 2.5 rolls of the poly burlap, and then I'm going to be using 1 roll each of orange, denim blue, and another cream. These are all in 10-inch. What we are going to do, we are going to cut these in 10-inch pieces, but we're going to fuse these together, and I will show you here in just a minute. Okay, so to fuse these together, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the orange deco mesh. I'm going to have this laid out, and then over top I am going to do my poly burlap, and I'm going to try to line this up the best that I can. Okay, make sure we have it decently lined up. If, let's say, your deco mesh was slightly longer than the poly burlap, then try to make it somewhat even on both sides, but that'll work out just great, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay within the lines of the poly burlap, and just with my wood burning tool, I have a chiseled tip on here. I am going to very slowly cut both of these mesh together, and the heat will fuse the two together. Okay, and you can see how this is fused together. Then I'm going to go all the way up to the 1-inch line. I have my 10-inch marked right here. And I am going to cut that again, staying within the lines of the poly burlap, and the two meshes will fuse together. Just make sure you go slow enough so the heat will actually fuse that together. Okay? And okay, so with the dahlia, you unfortunately cannot make the petals ahead of time. You have to make them as you are putting them onto the form. So it does make it a little bit more, I'm not going to say difficult, but it would be a lot easier if you were, yeah, I like to make my petals ahead of time, but we're going to do what we can with this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm pulling out my 8-inch zip ties and getting them ready. I'm going to go ahead and put one right here, the second ring from the outside, and just get it ready. Okay, and just have it right there like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my finished edge on either side, left and right. I'm going to take my top left, bottom right, and I'm going to just slowly kind of roll them in. Now, you want to have, I don't know, you want to make sure you can put your finger in there. You don't want to roll them entirely too tight. I'll put it this way, like if you roll it too tight, it's going to make a super skinny petal, and you don't want that skinny petal. So kind of roll it a little bit looser, okay, and just kind of get it almost to the center, leave maybe a couple inches, and kind of scrunch it. Okay, now if it looks like these are not going to be even, you kind of want to maybe let loose on one side or something like that to kind of even them out a little bit. But okay, then you want to just in the center kind of bring it so it's kind of rolling face up. Okay, you don't want them facing each other or facing away from each other. You want them both kind of facing upward like that. Okay, now let me put that back in there. And I'm going to place it just like that. Now again, I'm going to make sure I am even before I actually bring this good and tight. Now see how this kind of separates? I'm going to take another zip tie, bring it around the outside, and just kind of bring it together just like so. And that's how we make each petal. Okay, so it looks just like that. Now yes, this is going to flop back and forth. Don't worry about it. As we go in, each row is going to push the outer rows back. So you'll see once we get to the inside, everything is pushed back and we are good. That's probably a 10-inch. There is still a little bit of flop because we don't have enough rows. 8-inch, you're definitely not going to have enough rows, that there will be definitely too much flop at the end of the wreath. So I like going with a 12-inch or 14, or bigger, just to make sure that we, these don't flop, that we have enough rows. And you'll understand once you're done with this. So anyhow, I am going to do 3 on each section. Okay, I am going to do, oops, almost got that started. I'm going to do 3 of the orange, 3 blue, and 3 cream. Okay, so here we have the first row done. What I'm going to do with this next row, I'm going to go put the petals on the 3rd ring from the outside, okay? And I'm going to go in between this first row of petals. However, since we are doing a spiral, I am not going to use this first section yet, okay? I'm going to put the orange here, here, and here, okay? So I'm just going to skip that first one. I'm going to move this over. And then I'm going to do one here. Okay, and then I'm going to go in between the 2 blue. So you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit, right? I'll turn that around a little bit. So you can see there's 1 blue, and then I'm going to the orange in the next row. And then we're going to put a blue, a blue, a blue, and a blue over here, okay? I know it's a little confusing, but you'll understand as you're doing it. Okay, so we have the second row done, and you can see what we did. We still had 3 of each color, 3, 3, and 3, and then the same 3 again. Okay, so all we did, if you go by sections, we're just doing 2, then 1. Okay, so now for the 3rd row, we are going to use this inner ring along with the plastic canvas. And we're only going to do 2 per section. And so now what I'm going to do, and the first row was the orange over in this section, I'm going to do 2 orange in this section where the blue was. Okay. I know that sounds confusing, but you'll see kind of why I'm doing it as I am going, because we are making this spiral. I'm going to go a little bit over. Okay, go through the plastic canvas and around that ring. And already you can kind of see they're starting to stand up a little bit. Okay. So there's one, and then I'm going to put one over here kind of in between these blue. Let's kind of get that facing forward a little bit more. Okay. So there we are there. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do 2 blue here. Again, just kind of just left of that first blue in that section. Okay, so here we are with our 3rd row done. Okay, so now we're going to start with that first circle that we traced here. Okay, now I have 2 orange here. I'm going to put my next orange right next to the second orange between the orange and the blue. I'm going to do one here and one here. Okay. Now this time we're going through the plastic canvas, and that's it. Okay. So kind of what you want to do is just kind of go through, skip one hole, and come out. Okay. Okay, and so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put 1 blue and 1 blue. Okay, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so now I have, oh, what is this? This is the 4th row. Okay, and if you see little little frays, go ahead and clear them off now. It's best to do it as you're going along than to try to find any when you're done. But you still want to go through it when you're done and see if you can get any frays and kind of cut them off. But what I'm going to do from here, okay, you see that I have 2 here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of push the one to the left back and the one to the right forward of each color. Okay, that way it kind of gives that little bit more of a spiral effect. Okay, so I think that, you know, you can see it coming up this way. Okay, now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go with the orange again. Okay, you can kind of see I got these 2 here. The next one, I'm going to go kind of right in between this orange and blue, just up like another inch. Okay, kind of halfway between that line and the circle that we drew in the middle. And I'm just going to do one. Now, at this point, I don't think it's necessary to do the other zip tie around the center, because we're at this point where they're not going to flop too much anymore. There's really nowhere for them to go. So, okay, so now I'm going to go between the blue and the white and do one blue. Okay, then I'm going to do one white. And we're just going to do 6 going around. So now just adjust, fix any phrase. So now we're just going to do 3 more. Okay. Now we actually do have enough for one more. I kind of want to adjust these a little bit just to make sure that they're still going kind of in a spiral. So yeah, I'm going to put a blue right there in the center. Okay, you're going to have to kind of squeeze it in there real good. Okay. Okay, and then again, we're going to just keep adjusting it. Make sure we didn't lose a spiral. It might help to kind of get it up on a wall, and before you do your adjusting, it'll kind of help a little bit. But we're basically done here. Just kind of go through after you're doing your adjusting and just kind of make sure everything looks good. Okay? So I'll meet you back here whenever I'm done adjusting and show you the final product. Okay, so we have this fall spiral. What do you think? I just love these colors together. These colors are really in this year. And I just wanted to let you know, we went in a counterclockwise spiral. If you wanted to go clockwise, if for some reason that means anything to you, just go, instead of going from left to right, go right to left. Basically the exact opposite of what we did. So, and it'll turn out just fine. But this is what we have here. And I wanted to show you the very first spiral I made, because this is only the second spiral I've ever made. My first one was this rainbow spiral. This was done on a 14-inch from Dollar Tree instead of a 12-inch. I decided to go a little bit smaller since we were only doing 3 colors, but I think this turned out fantastic. I love this one, but I love the fall one, right? So let me know in the comments what you think. What color combinations could we do? I mean, for Christmas, obviously we could do the red, green, and white. But we could do so many combinations, doing the spiral, doing so many other things. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'll see you in our next video. Thanks.